I am that I am. Unmistakably, Adamus. Not Saint Germain today. Definitely not Cthulhu today. It's an all-Damus, all-star day. Woo! You clap now, but little do you know what I have in mind. And dear Edith, they said you would be a little uncomfortable with the video.
What video? Oh, no, it didn't make me uncomfortable.
Didn't make you uncomfortable?
No, it's just about us loving ourselves.
Absolutely. You heard it from Edith. An Adamus award to you today.
Ha, I have one. I have one. Ha, 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 ha.
You get an Adamus award. It's
I have one.
just about loving yourself. Yes.
On the way.
Actually, I have to tell a bit of a story. I did select that. Not my favorite music, but perhaps my favorite topic, loving yourself. And at one point, dear Jeffrey Caldra got a little nervous, was going to put something mild on, non-offensive, uncomfortable. And he even used Edith as an excuse, said, Edith might be uncomfortable with this video. Was I right, my dear lady?
Thank you. Thank you.
Not uncomfortable at all. Oh, somebody loving themselves, and singing about.
Only one.
And we'd like to get a good shot of this, Edith, for you.
Thank you so much.
For you, yes, yes. You realize we don't give out so many of those anymore, now that you can buy them online for $44, but it's all yours. One of my favorite topics is loving yourself, and you tend to get uncomfortable with that at times, and almost embarrassed about it sometimes. Here we have a beautiful music video talking about being lost, which I know so many of you feel that way, lost in your own song. And graphics, very professionally done, but cozying up to yourself in a bathtub. Or call me. So, my dear friends, we're going to do it a little different today. A little different. First of all, understand that I am actually here in this shout, and a shout is all of us. The shout is a reflection of all of us. When there's a great, great shout, a landmark shout, it's because you were ready to take that next step. It doesn't always feel good at the moment. Isn't always comfortable at the time, but you're allowing to go to the next level. It's so easy sometimes in your own life just to stay the status quo, to just think about life being different but never allowing it to be different, to not make bold moves. Last month, we made a bold move. We did God tipping. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's something called cow tipping. Cow tipping, yes, the Americans here know what that is. I believe it's practiced quite a bit here. But for those of you not familiar and want to do something tonight, you go out to the cow pasture and the cows are sleeping. And when a cow is sleeping, with one finger, no real effort, you could push them over. No, the cow doesn't care as long as they get to eat the next day. We did God tipping. It was ready because God is pretty sleepy. God is pretty lethargic. And God's just out in the pasture, just kind of. I'm serious. I'm not calling God a cow. It's well, maybe I am. I was so ready for tipping, just going over. That was a big step. You might have not realized it last month, but huge step. In the fact that we can even talk about it without worrying about somebody watching or listening, because, well, you don't have to. Nobody else listens to this stuff. Without worrying about repercussions. Because, as much as God is part of mass consciousness, people want it to change. People really want to change in God, but they're afraid. They're afraid it might be too much change or change in the wrong direction, but they're kind of tired of God, as humans have known God. They want something a little bit more dynamic, more refreshing, simpler, not just taught by some crusty old men. And actually, when things are really going to break through on the God front is when women, as much as men, are sharing this God thing, when they're preaching. To me, it is so strange. It was strange 300 years ago, but even stranger now that the priests have to be men, and the rabbis generally men, and the preachers and the ministers generally men. Not always, but generally. It's so strange. It was strange back then. It was kind of, everybody knew something was missing, but nobody was going to talk about it. And here we are 300 years later, and it's still missing. But you'll know when there are changes in some of the major church and religious organizations to allow women to stand up at the front. But anyway, we did a little God tipping last month, and it fell over, and there's repercussions. I mean, it's fun to do it and watch the whole, God, this big, powerful, all-knowing being. Boom, just like that. There are repercussions, though. It starts for you. It starts to shake up, undermine the foundation on which a lot of things were built. It starts to tear down things internally, even though I know all of you think that you're not religious, but there was still kind of the old investment in God. You start letting go of that, and things come up. Because God is like a great big blanket of suppression over a lot of things. Fear and guilt and shame and hiding memories, and all while you're praying to God. Well, when that goes away, things come up. Sandra. Coffee. Yes. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Cheers. Just feel free to barge up here anytime, as long as it's for my coffee, nothing else. So it shakes up a lot of things, and you probably noticed that in a lot of ways it was a crazy month. Different than regular crazy, but it was a crazy month. Feeling a little lost, unmoored, untethered, feeling a little uncomfortable that the old basis wasn't there. And that's absolutely appropriate. It brings up things like the Dear John letter that you were talking about before. It brings up Dear Susan letters. It brings up Dear Mary letters, Dear Benjamin letters, Dear Richard letters. It brought up a lot of things. It brought them to the surface. And when things are brought to the surface and they're exposed to what you would say light or awareness, it does hurt for a while. It is uncomfortable, and neither you or I want you to go back to your comfortable little place and just try to make it a little bit more comfortable. We'll pass through this. You will pass through it. And it is a little uncomfortable, and it does kind of rip at some of the fabric of your human algorithm. And it needed to, and it will continue to do so. The amazing thing is, though, when you understand what's happening, even though there are some emotional, mental, maybe physical pain, but you say, oh, okay, this is what is going on. It's a lot easier than being absolutely in the dark and going into the what's wrong with me. That's just awful. So to say that, yes, there's going to be uncomfortable times, adjustment times, but when you understand that it is appropriate and you are going to expand beyond it, it's much more palatable, much easier to take. As I stand up here now talking, I'm talking to each and every one of you. This is your shout. This is what you are creating. But I'm also doing it as much for myself, as much for me. Because as I'm up here talking, basically translating, putting forth your message and mine, there's a part of me that is hearing this right now. Part of me. It is the part that is not an ascended master. It is the part that is having a very difficult time 2,600 years ago. As a part of me that is so frustrated and confused and lost. So I'm standing up here talking to myself, saying to myself, you're going through an evolution, an opening. There will come a time of enlightenment. I'm standing here talking to my past, and the past isn't way back there. Actually, the past is right here. You're doing the same with yourselves right now. You're talking to your past. You're talking to what you could say is your now, your current time. And there's part of you that you would call from the future, but it's really not. It's all from the now, talking to yourself, saying, it works out. It had to. It had to. It absolutely comes together in the most beautiful and amazing way that you created. Nobody else, that you created. So in spite of a lot of things that you worry and wonder about right now as the human sitting here, thinking that there's something that you haven't figured out yet, wondering about what comes next, and maybe worried about it, maybe frustrated with life, there's that part that's of you that's talking to you right now and saying, take a deep breath, relax. Relax. You know, the interesting thing is there is really not a past, present, future. Everything has to occur in the now. Everything has to occur in the now. It cannot occur in the past or the future. So even this ascended master of yourself is in the now, in the same now that this human is in the very same now. And the past is in the very same now. So what's the issue, you say? Well, how come I don't get it? Well, because you're just viewing or aware of one small part of the now. It's all happening right now. There's no going into the future. It's right here. And in a sense, you could say that's what you're telling yourself right now is open your awareness, allow your awareness. Allow yourself to realize everything that's here in the now, not mentally. Not mentally. You just do it by, well, being absolutely brave and bold and saying, I got nothing else to lose. I'm going to absolutely open right now. And then stop thinking about it. That's so important. And yourself, your enlightened, realized self is telling you that right now. Stop thinking about it. Just get on with whatever you want to do. You allow, you open and allow, and then stop thinking about it. Go about your everyday life. Go about whatever you want to do. So let's take a deep breath and do that right now. So today, I'm not going to tell you anything new. Sorry. Everything I'm going to tell you, you've already heard. Whether it was here or in what you would call the past, Or it's your enlightened self already telling you this. You already heard it. You already know it. So there's nothing new today. And I have to mention that because there are quite a few that tune in for new. What's he going to say new today? And you get caught up in the new. It all has to be new. It's not. There's nothing really new. I can tell you the same old stuff in a brand new way that you might think it's new, but it's really not. If you go back on the early shouts with Tobias, Creator series, some Master series, some of the other ones, it's nothing new. He said it before. I'll just say it in a different way. More amusing or more disturbing in a way. I'll just say it in a different way. But even beyond that, there's nothing new because that enlightened, realized self has already told you. It's already told you. So I mention this because for those of you who only come here for new and only report on the new, what things new did he say? And only yawn at, oh, what you think you heard before? You might want to leave now. I'll give you a call when we're going to talk about something new. Never. There's a fascination with that. It's like an addiction. I'll talk more about that in our upcoming addictions gathering. But there is an obsession with that new. Gotta find out something new. Gotta find out something new, first of all, so I can be the one telling everybody else I just heard something new. It has to be something new because you're really bored with the old. You have to have that new almost as a distraction because, well, you never really did the old, what was said before. You never really followed through on it or allowed it. So it's got to be something new. And I get a little tired of that. Stand in my sandals for a moment. Always having to come up with something new every month just for the new people, just for the ones who like new. So I decided not today. There's nothing new about today. And now if we can get rid of all the ones who just come here for the new, now we can get down to business. Okay, let's do something new now that they're gone. It's energy feeding. It's annoying. It's like, what am I, an entertainer up here? You know, okay, let's do something new. You don't come here for new. You come here for just to get open. I'm just a big can opener in your life, and and just you just come here to open. It is easy to get stuck out there. You don't notice me sticking around at the end of the shout. I leave because it's so easy to get stuck and trapped out there. It really is, and not only are you stuck in the day-to-day activities, but you're stuck in a body too. I just come in and rent this one a few times a month and move on, but that's tough. We just come here to give you a bit of a, I was going to say spiritual massage, but it's not that. Just a consciousness massage and do a little human tipping of you. Have you ever done that, Carrie? Cow tipping?
No, I have not.
Try it.
Practice on you.
Try it. No. Yeah. Well, I got to fall asleep first, and I never sleep. So, yeah. Try it. Take some pictures, and we'd like to see the video next month. No, it's like going to the amusement park. So, nothing new. It's all here. Why don't you know it? Because you just haven't opened to it. That's all. Why? It's a big challenge. And why? I get into it again in our upcoming gathering, but you get addicted to life. You get addicted to it. You get addicted to the journey. You get addicted to the problems. You get addicted to the whole thing. And you come here to hear yourself, the enlightened self, saying, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath and allow. So, the other thing I wanted to bring up, you are probably finding out already, and finding out even more, that life is becoming a whole series of contradictions. And that's difficult. The human likes things nice and organized and knowing knowing where point A and point B and C are, you're probably noticing tremendous contradictions in yourself, in what I'm telling you. Contradictions on one hand where I say be in life, be in the joy of life, but the next moment I'm going to tell you you're addicted to life. You say, well, isn't that a contradiction? No, not at all, not at all. Where in one moment we're talking about being open, next moment talking about being focused. Isn't that a contradiction? No, not really, not really. Particularly once you start allowing yourself to be in the and, because there are contradictions at different levels of reality and vibration and energy. There are great contradictions in what you would call nature, natural reality, and what's in other realities. And that's why it's difficult to see them, because you look at it through the eyes of expectation that everything has to be a certain way in the other realms, and then you go out there and you can't find it. Well, because it's an and, it's different. The gravity that works here could be very different than gravity somewhere else. The reaction of energies here are very different than other places. So please get used to it. The contradictions. And there's nothing wrong with your mind when you start perceiving grand contradictions in things and in yourself. Nothing wrong at all. As a matter of fact, it's really time to go beyond just linear thinking and everything having to be the same. It's very difficult at first on your mind, on your reality scape. You feel very, very out of sorts. Nothing makes sense, and there's desperate attempts to try to put everything back together, and then you get depressed and anxiety and can't sleep at night. Well, you get over it. You will get over it and start to realize that as an embodied master, there are many different levels of reality, and they all don't have to agree with each other. The physics on this planet don't have to agree with physics in other dimensions one bit. That's why it's amusing. You'll find it amusing at some point. That's almost why things are right here. Calder was talking to somebody at the break about gravity and about that as the energy source that Tesla came to understood. But scientists aren't going to see that right now because they assume that this reality also works in this reality. The dynamics in here apply to here, and they don't. It's very different. And they can all exist and coexist together, even if they're out of sequence, even if they're incompatible, they can coexist together. That is a huge point. That's why I say everything is in the now. It cannot possibly happen outside the now. There's nothing outside the now. But you perceive that there's a past and a future. And it's very difficult to perceive that now the enlightened being is right here. And the schmuck being is right here too. All of it's right here. And they don't have to be compatible. Compatible physics, compatible energy, compatible consciousness, yet they can coexist. That is huge. So important. Now, the mind will struggle with that, as a few of you are doing right now. How does that work? The mind is not going to figure it out, and I'll explain that in just a bit. So just be comfortable with it. Just be comfortable. That's opening up. That's opening up. And there's times you're going to feel very awkward and it doesn't make sense, and you're going to physically, mentally, spiritually, and you're going to feel like you're being turned upside down, and that's okay. That's okay. A lot of you worry about getting a little older and the mind going away. You know, there's not a lot of difference between going geriatric and going enlightened. No, there's not. There's not, other than being able to understand what's happening. Well, use the example, imagine a flashlight. And when a person gets older, their mind, well, it's like the batteries in the flashlight aren't quite as strong as what they used to be. And on top of that, instead of the beam having a very sharp focus, the beam is a little fuzzier and more expansive. So a lot of times the older people who you think are just going daffy, and they think they're just a little oddly happier than they've ever been. I don't have to deal with everything anymore. Some of them fake it, by the way, just so they don't have to deal with humans anymore. But the mind is getting mushier and starting to drift into the other realms. And whether it's the death realm, whether it's just the other realms that are already here, they're starting to drift into it. Now, what you would call a sane, rational human is listening to them babbling and thinking, oh, they're just losing it, and I hope I never get to be like that. Well, you are getting like that. That was funny. But with a difference. It's not just about getting older. What's happening to you is you're expanding beyond the mind, and you're starting to perceive other realms, and you hear me talking about it. You say, oh, that sounds great. This is like a great big science fiction movie, and I'm the star. This is great. New realms, Star Trek, Star Wars, all the rest of that. But then when it starts happening, you're like, oh, what's wrong with me? I can't remember anything. Oh, what's wrong with my brain? It's like the old person's brain. It's just expanding. But instead of you losing your focus, instead of going out of focus, what's happening is you still have this is the good news and the bad news. You still have a focus, and the batteries are still charged up. Yes, they are. You still have a focus, but now you're also having a focus here, and another one here, and another one here, and another one here. You're becoming multi-focused, you see. You got all these different beams instead of just one beam, like a 30-year-old, one beam focused here. You're starting to put them everywhere. That is very odd at first, but I want you to go with me for a moment to the point where it's not odd. Okay? So here you are now wondering, what's happening to me? I can't remember everything. You're just putting your focus in many different realities. The mind is struggling to comprehend it, to remember it, to make sense out of it, and it cannot. It cannot. Biggest mistake, I'm going to wait till the end to wrap that up, but the biggest mistake, it can't, so stop trying. That's simple. Your mind has a focus here, and it's only going to be able to focus here, maybe here and a little bit beyond, not much though. So stop trying to make the mind understand what it cannot. It cannot. So come with me right now. We don't need music or anything, but come with me into what is the now, into what's not new. Okay? First thing, it's not new. We're not going to do something new here because you're already there. And this is not a mind game. This is called Reality 101. Come with me for a moment where you have this place of focus on this earth, on your body, on your thoughts, on your identity. That should be easy. This is what you do every day, where you have your habits, where you have your sense of balance and perception. Okay, now we have that. That's a given. But right now, at this same moment, beyond mental thought, are the other things, what you would call dimensions. But I'd even like to get to the point within 6 months from now, we don't use the word dimensions anymore. That sounds so New Age hokey. They're just realities. They're just expressions. And right now, you have them. Right now, they're there. Well, I can prove it. You do it in your dreams every night. Some of you remember, some of you don't, but you're simply going into another reality, another expression, another experience. And oftentimes they go far beyond a physical, mental. So they're difficult to relate with, but they're there. It's your soul, your I amness, just singing, for instance, without having to use their vocal cords, because it doesn't need it there. Just singing, feeling that expression coming through. That's a reality. The reality also, a focus, an and, where you are content. Content, I don't want to use the word peace because that even has a false meaning, but you're simply okay with everything that's going on at multiple levels. It's here right now. There's the you, the focus, that is a teacher, an amazing teacher. It doesn't have to be here in the physical body, in the mind. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. And where you're sharing your charisma, your light. You don't have to have 100 people sitting in front of you on stiff chairs, wondering when they're going to have pizza. No. You could simply be in the other focus, radiating your charisma. That's teaching. Whoever said that it has to be in front of a group, that kind of actually doesn't always work so well. But just being radiant. There's the other focus of you. So unhuman that it's almost difficult to understand. So unbody, unmind, that is just a beingness. A beingness. It's just there. And there's another focus of you, an expression that, believe it or not, wants to do it all over again. All the human thing over again. No, really, that's the one that scares me. No, but it's the one that understands this thing, that multiplicity, the and. And it understands that there really is no pain or no trauma. And it understands that it's just an amazing experience, not a test. And it's wanting to come back. It's really wanting to. And there's another focus that already has, you see, another lifetime. I didn't say after this. It could be before this. It could be before this. Yes, you can be an ascended master and have another lifetime. And it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter if it's pre-enlightenment or post-enlightenment, because none of that matters at a certain point. It doesn't. You can be absolutely ascended and say, I want to do another expression. And you could do it differently without having to go through a regular birth process as Tobias did. And you could do it just to have fun. You could do it without getting all heady and philosophical and stuck and all the rest of that. And you are all these things. Now, I say that, you're saying that. Your enlightened self, who is absolutely here saying that. trying to make such a point on the human focus that sits here in these chairs or is watching over the internet. And you're like, oh yeah, this isn't new. I know all this. I know this. It's so easy. I am an and being. I'm not trapped in shit. I did that to wake you up. Some of you are kind of getting dozy. So you're not trapped in anything, concrete, crap, anything. You are not. It was just the focus of where you were. But, as you know, part of you, not all of you, part of you is going to walk out the door or turn off your internet later on, and part of you is then going to get back into singular focus when you do just stop. Just stop. Take that deep breath, and you're not. Now, what's happening here is you're loosening up. You're loosening up a linear reality that's been occurring for ages, kind of trapped in that reality, while all these other realities also exist. But you're loosening that one up. You're getting out of your own tight underwear. And it is challenging because part of you so much wants to just make that linear reality a little better, and you get aggravated with me because every month you come here, it's like, I just want to make my life better, and it's like, I'm going to blow up your life. Because actually it's what you want. Because it gets so stuck when you're not and. Every master, including you, figured that one out. Oh, I was just trying to make my human life perfect, and that sucks. That will get you into, if you try to do that, that will get you into red lion number 2. My next book, I'm looking for an author to work with me on that. Red lion number 2 becomes when the person is obsessed with their, thank you, with their, you have to stop every once in a while and get your photo taken, you know? That's a Zen saying. Stop every once in a while for a picture. Now, where was I? Red. The Linda look. What are you saying, my dear? What are you trying to tell me in this? What? Yeah, hurry, take the picture. Click the button. Okay, so now he walks off stage. Crash is wondering, what do I do next? Do I follow him around the room? Do I follow him like a little dog taking his picture? Well, of course you do. Because we have to show the many poses and faces of Adamus. I'm not just the stage guy. Hurry, take it. I'm not just a stage guy. Oh, where was that distraction that I just planted? Oh, I love it. Red line number 2. Red line number 2 is about the adept, the student, trying so hard to do enlightenment. It's like the cross they bear, and it's the thing they bore everybody with, including themselves, and they try so hard, and they're oh, poor me, I'm working at it, no breakthrough, what's wrong? And so they get even more righteous about their enlightenment. Been there, done that. So they're so into trying to craft their humanness that they lose the whole damn point. They're so busy trying to make that little tiny cage of theirs a little bigger or better that they lose the whole point. We're going to blow up the cage. Oh, no, you can't. I've worked so hard at it. Oh, and I'm such a good student, and oh, poor me, and oh, I'm just going to come along and boom, blow up the cage or tip it over. Oh, how could you do that, Adamus? Or what, God doesn't love me. No, there is no God, and he doesn't love you anyway. It's like, boom, it all goes over. Oh, my life is falling apart. I don't know if I want to stay on the planet. Oh, shut up. Boom. Oh, God, thank you, Adamus. I needed that. I needed somebody to blow up my reality because I was so stuck in it, and I thought you were supposed to come along and just make it more comfortable. Now I realize, God, what a grand ascended master you are. You blew it up. Hey, that's what I do for a living. I hear kind of a half laugh there. So guess what? Instead of me blowing it up, I'll let you blow it up. All right. Yeah, wait till next month. But in a way, I said it was all Adamus today. There's nothing else but Adamus. That's kind of what's happening, and sometimes it's so hard, and sometimes I know some of you sneak away from Crimson Circle. You cheat on me. You go to other groups and aliens who tell you, "Oh, you poor thing, you're so loved, and we're going to come here and give you all the information, make you better." They don't. I've heard that crap for about 3 million years. Oh, we're going to come to Earth and may help you. They don't. And actually, I don't either. I just tell you like it is. You're going through this amaze. Isn't it? It's kind of fun today. Yes. It's an amazing, challenging, difficult, beautiful thing that's happening, but you're getting out of that singular human focus. And it's rough. It's rough. But it's wonderful. And you will thank me later. Maybe. Yeah. So where were we? Oh, today we're gonna do questions and answers. We don't normally do that, but Linda, would you get the microphone? I'm gonna ask the questions. You're gonna give the answers.
Shocking.
And today is kind of it's a different energy. So just feel free to be wherever you want to be, and yourself. Feel free. It's more casual today. I don't think anybody's. I sent half the people away that wanted new stuff, so it's just us talking and a few beautiful souls listening in. So let's just keep it casual, keep it open. I doubt if anybody's ever going to go back and listen to this. So just us, Ascended Masters. So first question, and please remember, keep it concise. Okay, first question. Go find somebody first, and then I'll ask the question. Okay. Find somebody. Oh, okay. You get the question. And if you wouldn't mind standing, what are you worried about? And would somebody write on the board? Somebody be gracious enough to just write.
Ted.
Wonderful. Thank
wait.
you.
Okay, we're good.
And
Yes, Ted. Go ahead, Ted.
Ted, and she gets an Adamus award for coming all the way from the back of the room.
I don't have any more. They're gone.
You get some money. He doesn't have any money.
Oh, poor you.
Free of charge today.
Wow, that was stupid. I was about to give her $100. Okay, so question is, what are you worried about?
I really can't think of anything I'm worried about.
Really? You want me to give you something to worry about?
Sure.
No. Okay. Really? No sleepless nights?
I'm...
Money?
No?
Health?
No?
There's that little hesitation there.
Yeah, I have this little problem with my eye today, but...
But you're not worried about it?
Well, it'll go away.
See that? Oh, you guys are too good for me. Okay. Thank you. Would you write worry and then answer number 1, nada. Thank you. Nothing? You're not worried about your any family members or friends or anything? You don't really care about them. Okay. And good. Thank you. Okay. Next.
Got to get a visitor.
Yeah. Visitors are fair game. What are you worried about in your life?
Sometimes I don't know what I shall do with my time.
Yeah, with your time or with your whole life?
No, with my time.
Yes. Huh. Does that trouble you?
Not really.
Oh.
But
What is
that's
this, the no worry section over here? Everybody else is constipated, anxiety, everything else. Oh, but over here, Linda just happens to pick the 2. Or is it Macchio? What are you worried about?
I know that I'll get there. But when?
But when? Okay. Do you worry about it a lot?
No.
Do you worry about money?
A bit. Not much.
Yeah, not much. How much do you have in your pocket?
None.
I'd be worried if I were you. Yeah, that was a good answer because I would have taken it. You worried about where you're going to go in life?
No.
No? You living with your parents?
I'm staying with my parents, but I don't...
Staying with them for like 50 years?
No, for a month or so.
Oh, okay.
But it's nice because I'm visiting my father, who I don't see a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's them that are laughing. I'm not. I understand. But are you? Do you ever not worry like overwhelmed worry, but just like God, where am I gonna be in 5 years?
No.
Do you have a job?
Right now, no.
No worries. Good. I'm baffled and amazed, and I would call you on your Machio if I felt there was any.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Excellent. Well.
Okay.
Nada. Yes. And everybody watching in online right now, I know you're amazed too, as I am, that there's no worry so far. But here, I think we have one.
A few.
A few. What do you worry about?
My daughter.
Your daughter. How much of your worrying goes towards your daughter?
Well, it's not 24/7, but
But of all the worrying that you do about everything, what percent will go to your daughter?
30.
30, 50?
50,
50,
okay.
60. Okay. How is that helping her?
Oh, it's not. Well, there are things I do to help her, but I'm caught between the old-fashioned.
Does she ever say, "Oh, Mom, thanks for worrying about me because it's really helping a lot"?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. And what else do you worry about?
Brain damage.
Yeah.
It runs in the family.
Yeah.
And I know we're supposed to be releasing
No.
our ancestral,
Nah.
but it's there.
Ancestor tipping. It's just push them over. Yeah. I don't know why, but Calder and Linda did not announce that we just did an amazing, brilliant recording the other day called Ancestral Freedom, and in 2.5 hours, it cures the whole thing. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
I'll
Sure.
be sure and get that one.
Yes. I'm doing a little pre-promotion on it. Yes. You get a
Okay.
free copy.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So anything else you're worried about?
Nothing major, no.
No? Okay. Just one more. One more thing. Yeah.
Well, the whole enlightenment business.
The whole enlightenment business. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. I can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, the world, the universe, God, the whole. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that little stress in my life. Yeah. So, what would be your worry about it?
Oh, am I doing it right? When will I get there? I understand that I am
Hell,
already
let's
there.
go right to the core. Does it exist?
Okay.
I'd worry about that. If I were any of you, I'd worry, is it even real? Yeah. I mean, I'd worry big time about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're taking it on faith.
Sure. And what proof do you have?
None.
Absolutely none. But I will tell you one little secret. Even if it's not true, even if it's all a bunch of whitewash, a funny thing happens because of the nature of consciousness that if it didn't exist, consciousness makes it exist, creates it to exist. if I use my green pond scum story, say if there's no God, it was just this weird evolution from green pond scum and it created earth and humans and everything else, and there is no God, there are no angels. Consciousness, which has to exist, it has to exist for anything else to exist. Consciousness is now going to create God and heavens and angels and ascension and enlightenment and the full blossoming of what was just green pond scum into magnificent ascended masters. That's the beauty of it. It's actually not necessarily coming top down. God, angels, humans, animals, green pond scum. It could come up the other way. It's the amazing thing. That's the beauty of consciousness. If everything else is distorted or not true or doesn't exist, the moment consciousness is added, it becomes so. That's the amazing thing. So let's say there is no such thing as enlightenment. You're born and you die, and that's it. Suddenly, the moment that your consciousness says, no, there's more, then there is. That's the amazing thing. And that applies to everything, whether it's this, whether it's your human life, and that's kind of actually what's happening in your human life right now. You're putting consciousness in it, and it's expanding and creating. Whether it was ever there before or not, now it is. The amazing miracle that's happening is, even if there was just, let's say the old biblical God, and that's all there was, and you die and you go to heaven or hell, let's say that's all there was. Suddenly it's changing from consciousness. Suddenly it's like, no, I want more. Now there is more. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for letting me carry on. One more with the worries. What are your worries? What are your worries? I ask the question because I hear so much worrying all the time. Worry, stress, and it affects your sleep and your health and everything else. And now I'm not hearing so many worries. The ones watching online, you're letting your worries come out. You say, what the hell? They got the microphone. If it was me, I'd be talking about all this stuff. Pete, what is it?
Well, cancer.
Cancer. That's a big one to worry about.
Yeah, just got through cancer surgery.
Yes, good.
And 5 brothers have cancer. My father had cancer, and his brother had cancer. So it's like a gene in our family, and I'm just, that's the only concern I had. Pardon?
It's more than a gene.
Yeah, there are whatever.
Yeah, it's an energy attribute that's stuck in the family line.
Right.
And, we're going to go out of that, and we will. That's one of my biggest passions of working with you.
But the other thing...
Family tipping.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was, I said, okay, what's the lesson in this cancer?
Right.
And what it turned out is that I'm not in control or the maker. And I got to surrender and give up. So, give up worry.
Give up worry.
Yeah.
And Pete,
and I'm, just...
Worrying isn't going to solve it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And trying to overcome it mentally will not solve it.
No.
At all.
I
So
had to
what
surrender
do you do?
to it.
You say surrender.
It means...
Stop trying to control.
Right.
And worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a man, I was always in control. That's where I got my self-esteem, what I produced, and all that stuff, and that's bullshit.
Wound of Adam. I mean,
okay.
I'm a man, and I have to, yeah. We're going to talk about that soon, too. Yeah. I'll give you a free copy.
Well, thank you.
So, okay, and how are you feeling now?
Really good.
Good.
Even today, I was distracted for the last 3 months, as you can see why.
Yes.
But this morning I got up and I just says, hey, you're going to a lovely place, bunch of angels. Align yourself.
Heaven?
No.
Oh, you mean here? Here.
Yeah, bunch of angels
I thought you were
here.
leaving us today. And
Yeah.
you mean, here.
And there's lovely energy here. And
there
just
it is.
align myself with that energy.
There it is.
And get attuned.
Yeah. And it's interesting, no matter how much the mind would try to focus on it and figure it out, and why do I have cancer, and what am I going to do, and what's God trying to tell me, what's the lesson, on all that. You're still in the family energy, and it was a wake-up call for you. It's like you're no longer your family. And these things, whether it's mental illness, physical, they are carried. I talked about that. Why don't we release that? Why aren't we releasing that recording now? Linda.
It stripped it away for a lot of stuff. I can feel it.
Yeah, and it does. And it's like, it just releases it. It's not mine. And at the same time, there's almost a level of being uncomfortable, saying, I let go of my foundations with the family and, carrying on those energetic traditions. Now, who am I? So there's that part, but then you get through it. Good. Thank you, Pete. Next question, and we'll have to move along. We got a lot to talk about. Next question is, and Linda, this is for anybody. Right behind you. This is for anybody right behind you.
Okay. Oh, not just anybody, but anybody.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, right here.
I got it.
Kathleen.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Ask the question.
No, give the microphone. No, to Kathleen.
Oh.
Yes. So, what are you fighting? Come on into the light, as I like to say. Come on, into the light. Yes. You're still in the shadows over there.
What am I fighting?
What are you fighting? Oh, this will be good.
Scary. Allowing all.
Okay,
my realization.
Yeah, okay, but let's get down. What are you fighting? It's a good fight. I've been watching the battle for a while. Now I got to distract you because you're going too mental.
You're going deep. And you want me to go
really deep. Oh, I love it. And we'll both stand. We'll both stay standing. So, what are you fighting there? Steam rolls out of her ears. Yeah.
the rest of my heart.
Yeah, well.
All of me.
Yeah, what are you fighting? What are these battles? And do you know what they are? Are you okay if I say?
I've been pretty happy, but I'll hear you.
If that's happy, I'm going to hell. Because, there's so much more, my dear. Don't settle for that as happiness. That's, can I swear? That's bullshit. Do not settle for that as happiness. It's not. Your managed misery, and I'm not picking on you. I'm just trying to blow you up a little bit here. That's managed misery, and there's a big difference, my dear. You've been doing
to be
better.
Done with misery last year.
You're doing what you call better, but there's still so much more. And can I tell you what you're fighting, or would you rather not?
I'll hear it.
I don't know.
I'll hear it.
I mean, everybody's watching.
I'll hear it.
Okay. Ready? Don't blame Culdra saying, don't blame Culdra.
I am shaking in my shoes right now.
You should be, because we're coming to that moment of truth here.
Shit.
Boy, this
Shit.
is intense.
Fuck.
Yeah. Okay. So you're fighting the witch within you. And the witch that you were. I'm so sorry, but yeah, boom. The witch that you were and that you felt failed miserably and that's still haunting. And I'm talking about past life, real witch. And that power that you played with and that you kind of destroyed with. And now you're fighting that every day. And it doesn't even have a face, but it's there. And my dear, there's no need to fight anymore because nobody's going to win. Nobody's going to win. You're not going to win. The witch isn't going to win. So done with the fight. It was about power, abuse, misuse. You hold yourself back. You hold yourself back, never wanting to be the witch again. But then you tell me that you're happy, and it's like, oh, man, that's happiness? Wow. stop, take a deep breath, stop trying to figure it out, okay? The witch is cool. The witch wasn't what you thought it was, okay? I don't care what they told you.
It happens when I am standing in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it happens mostly when you're standing in front of yourself. So there's a huge suppression that's going on. Like, put it down, put it down, put it down. And the witch is like, screw you. And she's using her witch stuff on you, and it is you. Now, that's weird. But it's very true. She's going to I'm going to keep putting spells on you. I'm going to keep you on your toes. I'm not going to let you settle back into Happyville until we come to some sort of resolution about this, okay? So let the witch out.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. And the rest of you stand out of the way. Well, I don't like past life stuff, but it is in this case. And it's deliberate holding back, and it's a lot of, I'm going to try to be the good girl, I'm going to try to behave, I'm going to try, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and you blow stuff up, and then you're like, oh, I have to be alone because I blow everything up, and I screw everybody up, and it's like, stop for a moment, okay? Just let the witch out. Let her free. That's simple. Okay, my point is, there's a lot of these internal battles, and when I hear some of you say, I'm not worried about anything, or no, my life is happy. Really? Really? I mean, who do you think I am? Cthulhu? Pull one over on me? Sorry. Let it out, okay? And there's I ask you what you're fighting, and A, you don't know. Well, you do, but you're not going to admit it. And B, you're not going to win. You are not going to win that fight. The witch will win. She's got more power because she knows how to use those things. You're held back. You try to close in, and she's going to win every time. Okay? Let the witch out. Okay, we're really going down some trails here. So I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to go on to the last question. I've asked before. I'll ask again. Microphone to somebody. Oh, you must know my question. Why are you going to stay?
Stay where? I'm not
Why are
staying.
you going to stay?
Oh, on the planet. Oh, I ask that all the time.
I know. And you're not the only one, Larry.
Oh,
you're not. So why are you going to stay?
Enlightenment. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Why are you going to stay? Do you want me to be brutally honest about it?
Sure.
Okay. And this is for a lot of you.
You did it over here. Come on.
Sure. I said it was an all Adamus day, all
Oh,
Adamus
it's all
All-Star
about you.
day.
Come on.
Because you're afraid to leave.
Sure.
And for the rest of you who are feeling this question, because you're afraid to leave. Otherwise, you would go.
Yeah.
But you're afraid, and what happens, and have I failed, and is this real? What's really on the other side, and is there anything? And otherwise, a lot of you would have gone by now. But you're afraid to leave, so you're gonna hang out with the wagon train, and okay, we'll go to the monthly meetings, and we'll say we're spiritual. And it's like, and actually, it kind of holds everything back, Actually, there's no dishonor in leaving, and I'm not addressing Larry, just you, but Larry and many others, you're waiting to see, well, maybe it'll change tomorrow. Probably not. We talked about it before. It's like the weather. It's going to be the same. Maybe good fortune will come my way. Listen, if good fortune hasn't found your house by now, it's never going to. So there is kind of apathetic procrastination that takes place, and I don't want to be here, but I'm afraid to leave. And we'll just wait and see what happens. And then I have to come in and slap you up a few times and beat you up and tip you over, and all the rest I'll do that again, for the camera. Picture is worth 1,000 memories. So, but it's, you can give Linda the microphone because I'm talking to everybody now. Look at it from my viewpoint for a moment here. Pretend you're an ascended master. You got this dynamic. Oh, I don't know if I want to stay. I know it's tough. And okay. And but you're not going to go either. It's kind of disgusting, actually. I mean, it's really disgusting. It's really doesn't look so good on you. And it looks bad in my record up in the Ascended Masters Club. They're coming, hey, how many want to leave? Not 3, maybe 4. That's all. That's all. But I'm working with them. And there's a whole bunch that actually, kind of in between. In between's a terrible spot to be, as is with Kathleen. In between's a terrible, terrible spot to be. Because you're not here nor there. You're not in the now. You're not anywhere. You're just in between. How would you like that written on your tombstone? Don't remember who it was. Don't remember the name on the tombstone or the year, but they were in between. Who was it? I don't know. They were just in between. It's a terrible place to be. So it's kind of disgusting when you're, I don't know if I want to be here. And on the other hand, well, I'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. We're not going to get any place on this. We're not. And that's the wound of Adamus. That was funny. I'm telling that to my friends. The wound of Adamus. What do I do? All these Shambra gathered in, and it's like, I don't want to be here, but I don't want to go. What? That's disgusting. Just make a choice one way or the other. You're going to be here or you're not. That's it. Commit to damn being here or get the hell out, please. It's actually, you worry about dying. You've done it 1,000 or more times. It's so easy. It really is. Oh, but it's so emotional and I have to take the pills or, run my car over the cliff. It's like, yeah, but it's really easy. So one way or the other, but just get on with it. Live or die. It's all Adamus today. There's no compassion, is there? But you're laughing. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now let's get to the point. Let's take a deep breath. I have stirred up the pot using a microphone. I've really stirred it up. And what's this all about? Would he get to the point? Would he get to the point? Yes, I will. The point is, I'm done. Thank you so much. And you can get $20 from the treasury over there. Leslie has money. I'm pay her for today. Pay her for everything, right? The point is there a point? Yes, there is a point. The point is actually quite simple. The point is twofold. There's multiple focuses all going on at the same time, but you're so locked into just the human that you're not seeing the others, okay? Second point is you are trying, and this is not new, you are trying to do life or enlightenment from within the human mind and perception, and it will not work. Trying to do awakening, spirituality, enlightenment, realization, whatever you want to call it, and you're trying to do it from within the human perception, it will not work at all. You are going to get frustrated, angry, tired, sick, and then you'll die. And you'll die frustrated, angry, sick, and tired, and broke. Having tried so hard to make all this work from within humanness. I've said it before, but I had to take today to say it again. Stop it, Brother John. Stop trying to do it from Brother John. It will not work. And you all do it, and you all end up on Misery Lane, which is a dead-end street, and nobody can bail you out. Stop trying to do it from the mind and beliefs and humanness, it will not work. That was pretty simple. The question is going to be, well, then how do I do it? What do I do, Adamus? If I'm not supposed to do it from the human mind, where or how am I supposed to do it? I go back to a very important statement. Like I said, we had to just stop everything and revisit an old topic. You are not responsible for your enlightenment, okay? And I've said it for a year and a half now, but you end up going back there and trying to do it. Why? Why? I wonder. Are you that obsessed with you doing it? Yes, thank you. Yeah. Everybody raises their hand. Yep. And come back. How's that working for you? Not so good. Why do you keep doing it then? I don't know any better. Yes, you do. Dialogues with Self. I'm going to write my book. But you keep trying. What's that about? Why do you keep going back to something that has not worked before and is not going to work again, the human trying to do the enlightenment thing? I know why. Somebody said over here, control. Pete, control. I got to be a man. Or it's the only thing I have. That I don't know any better. Stop it. Stop it. You, as the human in the now, sitting here in the same place as the enlightened being in the now, or the witch in the now, you, as the human, are not responsible. You are only being asked to do two simple things. One you've already done. Choose. You've already done that. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. Otherwise you wouldn't put yourself through such excruciating emotional and sometimes physical pain. You've already made the choice. Number 2, just be aware. Just be aware. That's all. The I am is taking care of everything else. Not God. We got rid of God. Not angelic counsels or anything else, but the I am, your I am, is doing everything. Everything. You may not be able to perceive it because you have an expectation coming from a limited human perspective. You may not understand, but the I am is doing everything. It's just for you to be aware and to allow. So we come a big full circle back, and it's not new. It's allowing. But you know, a funny thing happened to allowing on the way to enlightenment is the human hijacked it. And the human said, okay, I've got to take over allowing. And you think allowing now is allowing, other people to steal your energy. That's not allowing. That's stupidity. You think allowing is just staying in your old ways. That's not allowing. That's just being stubborn. Allowing means absolute opening to yourself. No matter what is going on. You've taken allowing, some of you, and you're using allowing to find parking spots at shopping malls. Shame on you. I allow myself to create a parking spot. That's not allowing. That is psychic bullshit. And you know what? A being who is truly in real allowing, not force power, play with Adamus's words, allowing. Somebody who's really in allowing actually never thinks about parking spots. They don't have to. It's just there. They don't have to worry, am I going to get the best spot? Park at the other end of the parking lot and walk maybe, but stop using it like it's a power tool. It's not at all. It's the antithesis. Some of you have hijacked allowing. We're allowing abundance, allowing abundance. What does that really sound like? I'm allowing abundance. I'm allowing abundance. Exactly. You don't have any. The person who's really allowing never has to think about abundance. They don't have to try to do it as a mantra, this word allowing. They've allowed, and they don't have to work at it. They have to remind themselves once in a while, hey, lighten up a little bit. And when you think about that, you remember, oh, that's right, I'm getting back into just that human tight-ass, constipated, mental self, just self, boom, over. And then take a deep breath and relax. So we're going to take 12 minutes to do some allowing. I know, it's not new, but it's important right now. So let's have the house lights down. Let's put on some music, and let's really allow. Wide out, courageous allowing. You know, I just can't say it enough, my dear friends. I cannot say it enough. This human mind-body composition identity is not going to do the enlightenment. You are going down a very rough and dead-end path if you think it is. It's natural, yes, it's natural to revert back to that from time to time, and that's when I come along and remind you. But that human aspect of you isn't going to do it. It doesn't know how to. It doesn't have the expansiveness to do it, and it also shouldn't be held responsible. My God, when I was just a mere mortal, I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't about being good or doing things right, which I thought it was for a while. Walking that straight and narrow path, it doesn't work. And yet, so many of you try so hard. It hurts me sometimes to see your efforting into enlightenment. So let's stop it. I want you to notice in this next month, kind of a fun homework. I want you to either go someplace physically where there's spiritual people or religious people, or if you don't live in a location that allows you to do that, just go on the internet to spiritual or religious websites. And I want you to see how much effort there is in those practices. And not to make a judgment, but I want you to see how hard they're working at it. And how the leadership is making their members, their followers, work at it too. And then I want you to look at yourself. How hard you've been making it on you. It's not your responsibility. Kind of weird, but it's not. You're only being asked to make a choice and then just to be aware. I mean, just be aware of the changes that are going on. Be aware of the shifts that are taking place within you. But stop trying to figure it out. This is called allowing. It's not the human's responsibility to open up into the other aspects or the other realities of self. It's not. It's not your job to try to figure out enlightenment. It's not. Just being asked to allow you. I am. There's this thing called charisma. It's that light within, the radiance. In that radiance, there's things like knowingness and compassion. There's things like realization and integration. And this light of the charisma is always shining. It's always there. You're just being asked to allow it. You don't have to create the charisma. Well, let me put it a different way. You already did. You don't have to try to attain some high spiritual, lofty, transcendental self. You can't. You cannot. But it's already there. It's already there. You're just being asked to allow it. That's all. You're just being asked to receive it. To be open to it. But you know, you can't do it if you think you're the one that has to figure it all out. You simply cannot. When you're taking that burden on your human self, you become so obsessed and preoccupied, so distracted, that what's right there will not be seen. That the charisma, that light won't even be noticed because you're so busy. The human self is so busy trying to figure out enlightenment. You could say, in a way, that it was a Dear John month for a lot of you. Things that, a deep level of frustration and lack of hope. I can tell you, I can tell John this very simple thing. Stop trying to do your enlightenment. It's the human perception and human limitations that are trying to figure it all out, and you'll simply burn yourself up. What can you do? What can you do as a human? Allow. Not Jesus, not God, not Buddha, not anything else. Allow yourself. So take a good deep breath with that. There are many, many, many facets of yourself and expressions of yourself which are here right now, which go far beyond anything that the human mind could even imagine. So you don't try to, you simply allow. There are things called enlightenment in the divine that the human cannot possibly manufacture or force or command, but you can allow. And sometimes in the allowing, it means that life is going to have different twists and turns of what the human expected. But this human who's trying so hard to be enlightened has an expectation of what would come next. What comes next is truly part of your God algorithm, your divine algorithm, but it may not be consistent with, it may be in conflict with what you call your human algorithm. Humans just being asked to allow this. The human might have thought he or she was going to be some grand spiritual teacher in this lifetime, and it just hasn't even come close. But that was a very human expectation. Now, dear human, you're just being asked to allow. It's like receiving yourself, but not a self that is limited by you, by the human. You're being asked to receive all that you are, but it may be in contradiction to what the human expected. Can you allow that? Can you allow that there might be a lot more than just trying to sand off the fine edges of your human life to make it a little bit more cushy? And that other things are happening right now. That may make the human a bit uncomfortable. I go back to the very basic analogy of the butterfly and the caterpillar. It's so true that even when the caterpillar looked up in the sky and saw this beautiful butterfly and said, someday I'd like to be like that, the caterpillar did not have the capabilities as the caterpillar to make it so. The caterpillar tried and tried and tried to be the butterfly, tried to paste wings on its back, tried to cut off some of its legs, and still couldn't be the butterfly, and got very, very frustrated. Thought, oh, this butterfly dreaming is stupid. It's kind of the same with what's happening with so many. You're trying to put divine angel wings on your back, on your human back, and it just doesn't work. It wasn't until that caterpillar stopped trying, stopped efforting so much, and simply allowed the butterfly that was already there, simply allowed that it then realized it was actually both. It was both. At the same time, it was the caterpillar and it was the butterfly. That's the part that's always left out from that story, because it didn't go from just being the caterpillar and then become the butterfly. It was actually both. That's exactly what's happening with you. You're not going to go from being human to being divine. You'll be both. And a lot more. Please stop trying so hard from the human perspective. It's kind of your easy ticket here today. It says you don't have to work so hard at it anymore. Just allow. Allow what? Well, that's allowing the I am. But allowing also means letting go of the expectations of what happens next and how it happens. You just allow it. It's one of the simplest things to do. But like I said before when I was talking about contradictions, it'd be one of the hardest and the most challenging. It'd be the simplest And it could be one of the most challenging, just to allow. About 83% of you are going to leave here, maybe feeling a little better for a while, and then you're going to go back tomorrow and wake up in the morning and once again start trying to do enlightenment. Like the caterpillar trying to paste the butterfly wings on its back. It's not going to work. You're going to get frustrated and depressed. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to lose hope. But then, something will go off within you. Like a bell ringing, maybe a siren. You just say, stop for a moment. I don't have to do this. The human does not have to do this. All I need to do is allow. And you take a very good, deep breath and just go about your life however you want it to be. So, good. Glad we got somewhere today. Glad we got somewhere. Let's take a good deep breath and it should be actually refreshing that the responsibility's not on you. Really refreshing. I mean, not on the limited you. It's happening right now. Things are moving, things are changing. It should be really, truly refreshing that all you need to do is allow. So let's take a good deep breath with that, and let's really feel into that parting statement that all is well in all of creation. With that, I am happy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.